Hey, welcome to this podcast. On this episode, we talk about bravery. If you want, you can skip the intro, otherwise let me just spend a few words introducing the topic and today's guest. Sometimes life just seems stacked against you. Every now and then, challenges arrive that just seem unsurmountable. Happiness seems like a concept meant for others, while you are doomed with physical or mental challenges, or worse, both. But some of us all of a sudden find a light at the end of a tunnel. Some people manage to transform even the worst of experiences into a positive energy. Some people stop being afraid. Some people become brave even when they are looking directly into the abyss. My guest on this podcast, Nicola the Nittis, is one of these people. His remarkable story from a double life filled with challenges, fears of being discovered, and a sense of helplessness, and his remarkable transformation into a brave community leader and founder of a platform giving inspirational people a voice, telling their transformations in life, often based on tragic experiences, loss, death, pain, turning their experiences into a life force that inspires everyone around them. Nicola was born with a deadly gene defect called Thalassemia, and his doctors had already told him to prepare to die. However, in this remarkable conversation, Nicola tells his story, how he escaped death, reclaimed ownership of his life, and transformed into the leader he is today.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I believe you're in Cologne, in Germany at the moment. And welcome to the show, first of all. I wanted to talk to you because you have a very interesting, very unique story, which has to do with personal struggles and a genetic defect, let's call it genetic defect, that you had to hide for a long time, and that you transformed into something positive. But I don't want to get too much into it, so maybe you can give our viewers or listeners a little bit introduction about yourself and your story that brought you here.
Yeah, ciao Salvatore, first of all, thank you for the invitation. Yes, I'm in Cologne, Germany, where I was born, by the way, also. Yeah, and I was born with a so-called blood disorder because of this gene defect. If we want to know exactly where, on chromosome 11. But this is just for the experts.
And so this chromosome defect, how did that have influence on your early life? When did you first find out about it?
Yeah, so my parents recognized very early that something was wrong with me. I was 6 months old. Yeah, so because you have this blood disorder, so right away from your birthday, yeah, and to call it by the name of this blood disorder is Thalassemia, and that's very unknown because it's categorized under the rare, so-called rare diseases. So this is why nearly nobody, even some physicians, don't know what it is exactly. Depending where you are, in which part of the world, I will tell you later why this is important also to see. So yeah, and I was pale and how do you say? I was vomiting. So vomitare.
Vomiting,
yeah. So I was not okay. So as a baby, yeah, you couldn't see that on the first day, so on my birthday, yeah, because at that time I was born in 1976 here in Germany. This blood disorder was nearly completely unknown in the entire country. So, and now it comes to the part why it is important where you have and where do you live with this blood disorder, because another name of this or a synonym of this blood disorder is the Mediterranean anemia. Why? Because We have a bigger amount of thalassemia cases in, for instance, Italy, Greece, Cyprus, and Northern Africa and some Arabic countries. So, and this is why they choose this name, which in the end, it turns out that it's the wrong synonym. I will tell you later why. So, so this little gene defect or the blood disorder, which comes as a result of this gene defect, causes several, I call it features. So one of these is that my bone marrow cannot produce enough blood, or the blood cells are not sustainable. So they cannot live that long like yours or everybody else, blood cells. So they are not healthy. Means I need to go to the hospital to get a blood transfusion. Okay, and this means at the moment every 2 weeks. And the main information regarding this feature is that I need to go to the hospital forever. So it's an lifelong therapy. You can avoid this, so it is curable so theoretically by a bone marrow transplantation. Okay, but you need a donor, which has the same genetic attributes, So the real name is HLA, human leukocytes antigens. And this you can find on chromosome 6 on everybody in everybody's DNA, and this is kind of a barcode of everybody of us. Okay, so it's our print, So it needs to fit.
Right.
If not, the physicians will say no, we will not take the risk. Okay, so and then it is important, while we know, because we know this meanwhile, that it should be a sibling. So my sister, my brother, I have just a brother, and he has got tested, I can't remember, 35, 38 years ago, and he doesn't fit to me. This means theoretically is thalassemia curable, but not in my case. So not this way. There are some other new ways from the science fiction department called gene therapy, but I will tell you later, because it's complex, as you can see.
Right.
And the second feature is that I had a prediction. I should die by age of 20 or early 20s. That was like a law. Because and without without being angry, hearing that, or rethinking, reminding this this fact, which wasn't, because the medicine, the status of the knowledge of the medicine was like, okay, this is what we know, you're gonna die very early, I'm sorry.
Right.
And then out from this, it comes to something which we all working on, and we do say, let me say it one time in German because it's difficult to tell. Persönlichkeitsentwicklung means personality development. Okay,
Right.
it has to do with yourself. Okay, with my inner self. So, and it starts after childhood. You know, when you are when you grew up in Europe, when the first challenges comes to you. You know, where you need to find yourself. Yeah, to recognize
Right.
yourself and to understand yourself and the world and how life works. Right.
Right.
And
And
yeah.
you mentioned at the beginning there was a stigma for you attached to this situation. So you were actually not telling anybody about this. You were keeping it for yourself. Why is that? And what were the fears, let's say, and what made you decide to eventually break this chain of secrecy, let's say, and be open about it?
Yeah, already as a child, I recognized that I'm different, but not because I was saying I'm different. No, it was the world, the other people. Because in kindergarten or in the school, I felt that the teachers, yeah, and the kids are or the other child, they are treating me in a different way. So, and I asked at the beginning why, but I could understand by getting older, yeah, why this is. Because even in the hospital where I need to go, as I said, this is a rare disease, and here in Germany especially, because it's a real rare disease, not in my origin country, Italy, we have like centers, you know, where you can find thousands of this kind of guys like me, but not in Germany. I'm the only one in a big hospital at the moment, yeah. So nowadays, and in the past it wasn't similar. So and means I need to go to a hematology department, yeah. And hematology and oncology is always connected here in Germany. Means I was surrounded, and I'm still surrounded, always with cancer patients. And they asked me, what is this? And why are you here again and again and again? So even the cancer patients gave me the feedback, you are different, guy. Even in the world of the, you know, of healthcare. So, and then I started to hide it, you know, in front of the other kids, and then in front of friends, or by getting older, coming to puberty. Yeah. So when I was a teenager, just imagine how does dating works. Yeah. I can't tell to the lady, listen, this is Nico, and I have a blood disorder, and unfortunately, so they say, I need to die in a couple of years. No, you can't.
Right.
Even not the first part, I have a blood disorder. Oh, no way. Okay. Because then they started, can I get infected? No, it's not like Corona. Okay. So, but you know, understanding it comes not like this. Yeah, as we know from the time where we studied, yeah, or where we went to school, yeah, it's never like this, yeah. So, and then I had this deadline in front of me, yeah. But what I did is to encounter it with the bravest term in the world, and I choose it, and I will tell you in a second which this is. Because my doctor said, listen, Nico, you can't forget making a career. Forget to create a family. Forget to have a normal life. Forget it. Forget about it.
Wow, that's what they said. Wow.
Yeah. So, and yeah, because this was the prediction, and this was the law, okay, the frame. Okay, good. So, and Then he said, I have a paper for you. Just sign it and you can have a easy life. And this is the rent. So we say in Germany Frührente, so the early pension.
Ah, like a pension, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so means this would be the ticket to a lifelong comfort zone habitant. And this was the moment where I got first angry, and then I spoke out the bravest term in the world. No, no, I will not sign this. I know I have a deadline in front of me, but let's see. This was my, my state of mind. And then happened something which has to do strongly with personality development and reaching goals and being resilient, mentally strong. And it was like you can read it in a lot of very successful business authors and people, and it's focus. I had a wish. I wanted to have a career because, as I said, they gave me just a frame. But chromosome 11, whoever, and the doctors, and all the others, because my family, and I'm Italian, my family is a big one, and all my friends, the neighbors, and the priest, and everybody, all the consultants said to me, take the comfort zone ticket, guy. This is good. And I said to everybody, no, this is crazy, or maybe not. Okay. So, and then I choose to say no, and to to draw what's inside the frame, because all of them, they gave me just a frame, and this is the same to you and to everybody else. There is no difference. I was just born with a little, malfunction, but
right.
we have all the same frames, yeah, and that's not important. Important is what you do, what you draw inside the frame. So, and what I draw is a career in IT. I did it, so because I wanted, yeah, at all costs, yeah, against all odds. And this means, just to shorten it, that I had in fact a lot of difficulties with my health, so I need to take still many drugs, and I need to go to the hospital, not only for blood transfusion, and I need to suffer pain. I need to go through, I know this. Okay. So, but again, against all odds, this was my credo. And then I started to work in IT, and this is where I started to understand, okay, when you like to be honest, Nico, don't do it. Because I recognized very, very soon, very quick, that I wanted to have a job, yeah, after in IT, and I said always, yeah, being honest, yeah, I have this little blood disorder, I need to go to the hospital, because I thought, they need to know this, at least my boss, they need to know this, and this is bullshit, because I had more than 100, how do you say, Absagen?
Refusals or denials, or
yeah. I couldn't get a job. Even with my, IT qualification, a very good one. Okay, and then I started to draw my picture by hiding it. And at the moment I hide it, I started to hide my handicap, it worked like this immediately. And I had very successful 20 years in the most popular area of IT in the world. It's called business intelligence. Nobody knows this term. It has to do with big data analytics. So collecting data to know where you are and what you're going to do next. I will know before you. So this kind of guy I become. Yeah. So and I could be part of great projects around the globe. Yeah, with many business trips. Nearly always in partnering American companies, yeah, like Google, Amazon, Facebook. So it was amazing. But this 20 years of being a double agent, yeah, wasn't that healthy. Why double agent? Because before I started my IT career, I started another career in healthcare. And this is called patient advocacy. Okay, this is when you represent the patients or the relatives, and you bring together the needs of the patients and the needs of the doctors, okay, of the physicians. Okay. Why this is important? Because there's something you know this also from as a business term, but in healthcare it has another meaning. It's compliance, and compliance means effectiveness of therapy driven by patient, not by the doctor, because the doctor can tell you whatever you want. If I do say, no, I will not take the pill, I will not take the pill.
Right.
Okay. So it means you need to bring them together. This is why compliance is very, very important. Means you need to create an understanding on both parties. And this is where a patient advocate comes into place, right? And I started to do this as I was, 14, 15. And this is why, I started not because I wanted to do this, no, because as a, chatty Italian, I was the one where the other patient said to me, you can hold a talk, can you speak for us, please? Yes, okay. And I did it, yeah. So, and out of this, I had another career, and it developed to something where nowadays you say to this kind of job, coach, or resilience trainer. So it was a two-way highway, but the other one in healthcare, it was hidden. I was also around the globe, having business trips, holding speeches, doing trainings, and holding seminars. But in healthcare means I was on healthcare congresses and meetings and so on and so forth. But I told everybody always, please don't use my real name if you do a press release. It sounds like James Bond, and it was a kind of, but without a weapon,
Right.
Yeah.
And so basically, to get to where we are now, today, you have founded this platform called Brave Speakers, right? And so first of all, to get back, just to create a connection in a moment when you got the contract to sign for your early pension, we could also say by saying no, you basically said yes to taking back control over your life. Because what I kind of see, and it's a common thread very often in people that, now that's my observation, maybe I'm wrong, but it has often to do with the fact that life is complex and life is chaotic. and it always seems like we have no control over it. And then there's something that actually teaches you, and in your case, probably it was this crucial moment where you felt like, wait a second, actually, maybe I do have some control over some of my life, which is the first step then to gradually gain more and more control over more and more aspects in your life. And I suppose that's part of the personality development that you, I can imagine, are teaching. And you correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But and the brave speakers, is that then kind of your way of sharing that message with other people? And how do you, to get to the question, how do you actually communicate that and other tools that you may have and other experiences that you or the other speakers may have learned? How can you get normal people that are maybe trapped in their lives, how do you get them to use these methods and tools and improve their lives?
So the bottom line is everything is possible. So the question, if you have control or not, is just a matter of belief. If you believe that you can have control, this is the first step. If you don't, you will never try it. So what they gave me from the very beginning is no hope. And from this no hope, I just needed to delete the no. With a no, no to no, to create hope. So, but I did it, of course, with a fantastic network. We know this also from studies in matters of how to increase resilience. That the network, so the people who can assist you, is the most important element. That's very important. So I had means during the past 4 decades, I had, of course, also doctors who said, you know what, let's try it with hope. Come on. Okay. So, and then some friends, some teachers. So this is the good part of this world, of this life. You can have, this is important. There are some other crazy guys ignoring deadlines. So come together with them, and then you cannot expect how wonderful the result would be. And my result is in the end Brave Speakers, yes, which is a speakers bureau, speakers agency, where we bring speakers with very special life stories on stage. But we do also seminars and everything what can support the personality development of the people out there in a positive way. Okay, so it could be a speech, but we don't stick just on this. Okay, but what we miss is we have still a gap to my IT career and how it comes to Brave Speakers. You can imagine that if you, as a double agent, means I need to hide a part of me. Yes, if you hide something from your personality, that's in the long term, that's not healthy, not at all. Means you soul will bounce back. How? With health problems. Because we know, psychological issues are often connected with physical issues and vice versa. So, and in 2017, it was very stressful, my IT job, plus, all the other stuff which nobody has. I had to do this, as an extra job with with all the appointments in healthcare, and then I suffered a hear loss, a total hear loss. So I woke up in the morning and I couldn't hear anything anymore, nothing. What you then feel is panic. You have just panic
Of
because
course. Yeah.
you have no orientation anymore,
Mhm.
and yeah, nothing. Yeah, you have just you feel just fear. Yeah, so I
Right.
went to the hospital and to the emergency. And they said, "Look, we know how stressful your life is, yeah, Nico, and you did it, and that's great, but you can't move on like this anymore,
Mm.
okay?" And and then the following sentence encouraged me a lot, and but it was not a positive one. The doctor said, "If you continue with this, it could be that you will never ever hear again at all." Okay,
Wow.
and this is then to me an offer that I can't deny. And the
Mm.
offer contains, yeah, Nico, step back, yeah, change the
Right.
perspective, and this is why life is great. It's like a roller coaster. It brings you always to another you, to another place, to another. That's great, that's fantastic, and I do love challenges, yeah, really
Right.
really huge challenges. This is not common. The most of us, yeah, they live in a comfort zone because it is like it is, yeah, and we don't need to lean out, okay? But if you
Right.
start, it could be that it will be different, like we can see now with Corona, yeah. But
Mm.
this is why Corona comes around the corner. But nobody does it from, or nearly nobody does it from themselves, to say, okay, I will leave this place and I will um, move on to a completely unknown place. This is not
Mhm.
common.
And why do you think that is? Why are some people, why do they seem to have the capability to analyze themselves and maybe to move a bit backwards and see everything from a bird's perspective, let's say, and can distance themselves from their own self? Because you can be too close to yourself. In German, there's the saying, "Ich sehe den Wald vor lauter Bäumen nicht." I don't see the forest because of all the trees. Whereas other people, they fall into depressions or they do not seem to have a capability to get out of it by themselves. Is it maybe because of role models or a lack of role models thereof for some people? Or could it be that it's also some genetic makeup? Because I remember my grandfather from Abruzzo, from the east coast of Italy, he never stood still. Like he had this constant, he had always to do something. And there's other people who are always phlegmatic and they just take things the way they are, but they feel like they have no power or agency over their own life, and so they give it to other people or to other entities. Why do you think that is?
So there are several causes. This is what I think, and the most important one is that we all are different. We are different. So
Right.
the good message in this is that you can just imagine that all the people are puzzles, okay, and you can bring
Mm.
them together. What fits together. So, and
Right.
this is a good message because otherwise we would say I don't need nobody because I can handle it. Yeah,
Hmm.
no, that's not true. And other reasons could be that life is changing by passing time. We do change, but first of all, we need to know ourselves. It starts from here,
Right.
and then we need to understand the others, and then the world and the life. That's not that easy. It's difficult, especially
Hmm.
when it changes constantly. So, and so knowledge is crucial. That's very important. That's very, very important. Even in the past months, you have for sure, you have got that many press releases comes from, I don't know from whom, but they were not without sustainable base. So they said corona is coming from, I don't know from where, from aliens or what. But so no, we need data, and this is why maybe my job, so business intelligence, big data, it helped me a lot. Yeah. So to create a state of mind to collect first data, to create out of this information which could help me. And this is
right.
how this is my approach, but everybody else could take this approach. But as you said, everybody is different. I have my brother, for instance, is completely different than me. We have 2 cats and are siblings and are completely different, completely. So, and this is good in some way, and in some way it's not that good because some part is missing. But just imagine you would live on an isle alone, nobody else, with nobody else. Yeah. So first of all, you don't want to live. Why? Because you don't exist. Without reflection from the world, means from other people, you cannot find yourself. It's not possible.
So you need community around you. You need other people.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So this is why teamwork and team building is so important to me. But it starts already by a patient and a doctor. By relatives and a patient, relatives and a doctor, and parents and kids, and so on and so forth. So we have this relationship, this kind of relationship, always, everywhere. So, but then it comes to other issues like less empathy, and lacking communication, lacking listening. So these are at the end, these are simple skills, but to improve these skills, that's not simple, that's not easy. Exactly. So, and this is why we need all the others to master these kind of challenges. And then this is the most important part. You can increase your mental strength, your inner strength, your resilience. And this is an invisible process. This is very important, very, very important. Because most of the people around the globe, they need an evidence. They need, let me show you CV, what you can do. But this is wrong. First of all, it's wrong because nobody could say that I could surpass my own deadline, but me. So means the most important question to everybody is, which invisible potential do you have in you? What we can, create and develop.
Yeah. Just by hearing you talk, I already have another 200 questions I would like to ask you, but I know that your time is very limited because you have to go to a seminar right after this. So I wanted to briefly touch on the corona situation, of course, and maybe you can tell our audience first of all, how you lived through the crisis. I mean, it was a bit different in Germany than in Italy. I think there was not a complete shutdown in Cologne, even though in your region, North Rhine-Westphalia, I think still within Germany, the region was hit a bit harder. And how you coped with it and which tools maybe helped you and your resilience that you just talked about. How do you increase resilience in a situation like this, especially for somebody who might not have yet developed the maturity to start working on self-improvement. So for all the listeners in the audience maybe that are struggling at the moment during the coronavirus crisis, what would your suggestions for them be? So how did you deal with it, and what could you share with us that could help somebody struggling right now?
Yeah. So Corona didn't affected us only physically, but also mentally. So means how can I increase my mental strength, to encounter this, or to encounter this crisis, and to go through, and by the way, if you do that, to increase, to focus on your mental strength, to increase it, then you're gonna be better prepared for the next crisis, which we don't want, but we don't need to order. We know it will happen, in some way. So, and what helps you, what helped me, again, these are simple things. Stay connected, very important, but not quantity like Facebook friends, but quality is crucial. That's important. Means don't get in touch with stressors, with people which are eating your energy. Don't do that. Okay.
We all have those friends.
Excuse me?
We all have that kind of friends, yeah.
So get in touch with people where you have the feeling these are sources to you, okay? Resources, and gives you energy. That's very important. So, and the second thing is you can remember it with GTD, getting things done. That's very important, because of our brain. There's a tiny part called the limbic system, and the limbic system hates movies and stories without a happy end. It's not good.
Right.
So means we need a happy end. We need a check done. So now comes the funny part. Even if you say so, tomorrow I'm gonna make, I don't know, tiramisu like I did last week. Yeah, just
nice.
A dolce vita task. To be flexible, not only to mention business task, but task is task. And limbic system doesn't know anything about mascarpone or Google algorithm. That's or SEO. It doesn't care. It's important to have these checks, to create a structure in your life, daily life. Okay.
Right.
And more important is a focus. Like I said at the beginning, this is what helped me to go through the deadline, because as I was 21, 22, I didn't recognize that I surpassed the deadline. Why? Because IT was so exciting to me. Okay, the entire IT world. Wow, fantastic. And then I look back at, I'm older now. Okay, let's move on. So, and this is how we can, surpass this kind of deadlines, whatever they will be,
Right. So, as I said, there would have been 100, 200 questions at a minimum that I would like to ask you still, but time is limited. So maybe in the end, let's hope that this is just the beginning for everybody who just enters this world of, trying to improve themselves, and that are interested in what you have to say. Where can they find further material and further publications that you have written or that you are publishing in the future?
So I have my personal website, which is my name, nicola.com. And we have also the Speakers Bureau, which you can find on bravespeakers.de. So where you can find also other brave people and with incredible stories, and this is guaranteed. You will you will have fun.
All right, great. Nicola, thank you so much for taking the time for this episode of the heysal podcast. Well, good luck with the great work you're doing. I find it really fascinating. And as I said, this is something that I could talk about for hours. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much to our listeners. Saluti.